Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Have you ever looked up at the night sky, felt completely overwhelmed by just how massive the universe is, and kind of wondered how you, with all your day-to-day struggles and doubts, fit into the whole shebang? Well, today we're taking a pretty fascinating journey. We are going to travel all the way from the vast cosmic origins of the universe right down to highly practical, everyday wisdom for living a peaceful, balanced life. We're going to explore the really profound intersections between ancient Hindu scriptures, like the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, and modern scientific discoveries. So, if you've ever felt a bit lost in the chaos of the modern world and you're looking for a guide to finding some clarity and a way to excel in life, you are absolutely in the right place.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The universe and you. 2. Science meets ancient wisdom. 3. The path of selfless duty. 4. Your 3 hidden gears. And finally, 5. Fueling mind and body. Let's start right at the beginning.
Section 1. The universe and you. Before time existed.
To really wrap our heads around our place in the world, I want you to imagine a silent, empty void before time even existed. No sky, no earth, no stars. Just pure, unmanifested potential waiting in total stillness. Now, modern science tells us that nearly 13.7 billion years ago, the universe kicked off with the Big Bang, right? It was this super concentrated, incredibly hot primeval bubble, literally smaller than a pinhead, that just rapidly expanded. But here's what's wild. Ancient Vedic texts describe a highly similar concept. They talk about the Hiranyagarbha, which translates to a great cosmic egg or golden womb floating in the endless waters of chaos and carrying the blueprint of all creation. And how did it actually begin? With Nad Brahma, the very first subtle cosmic vibration or sound that broke the silent stillness. It's absolutely incredible to see a modern scientific theory of an expanding bubble perfectly mirroring this ancient vision of a cosmic egg bursting open to form the worlds.
So, this brings us to a massive, foundational concept from our ancient sources, Brahman. Now, Brahman isn't a person, and it's not a god in the traditional human-like sense you might be thinking of. Instead, Brahman is described as the infinite, changeless ultimate reality. Think of it like the spiritual essence of the entire universe. If you imagine the universe as this huge, boundless ocean, Brahman is the water itself. Every single wave, every ripple, every drop comes from and is fundamentally a part of that ocean. It's the underlying foundation of existence that connects absolutely everything.
Now you're probably wondering, okay, but how does that massive ocean connect to me? Well, that is where the concept of Atman comes in. The Atman is the individual soul, your deepest, truest self. The Upanishads use this really beautiful analogy. If Brahman is the infinite ocean, your Atman is a single drop of water from that ocean. And even though it's just one tiny drop, it shares the exact same fundamental qualities as the entire ocean. This means your truest self is intimately, deeply connected to the ultimate reality of the cosmos. The infinite universe isn't just out there, it's literally right inside you.
Section 2. Science meets ancient wisdom. Quantum meets Vedanta.
This is where modern science and these ancient texts become shockingly aligned. In quantum physics, there's a fascinating concept called the observer effect. It essentially means that the mere act of measuring or observing a quantum system literally changes how that system behaves. And this directly echoes the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, which teaches that reality is deeply shaped by perceiving consciousness. Vedanta basically states that our true nature is identical with universal consciousness, meaning the lines between what's out there and the mind observing it are incredibly blurred. I mean, even Heisenberg's uncertainty principle mirrors these ancient ideas that reality isn't just some fixed, predictable machine. It's a dynamic, interconnected dance of existence and perception.
And you know what? The parallels just keep getting deeper. Modern science actually hypothesizes about the Big Crunch, this idea that our expanding universe might one day just collapse back in on itself, which could potentially trigger another Big Bang. Science is also exploring the multiverse theory, the idea of countless parallel universes. Well, thousands of years ago, sages were speaking of pralaya, the great dissolution, where the universe collapses after billions of years, only for a new cosmic egg to emerge in a fresh cycle of creation. On top of that, they described Ananta Brahmandas, infinite, bubbling universes appearing and disappearing like bubbles in cosmic waters. What science calls the multiverse today, these ancient texts were already boldly declaring as the eternal reality of creation.
Let's look at Section 3, the path of selfless duty, Karma Yoga.
Okay, so if we are all so deeply connected to this massive, infinite universe, how do we actually find peace in our daily lives? How do we handle our everyday struggles? The Bhagavad Gita provides a truly profound answer through Karma Yoga, the path of selfless duty. Basically, it means working hard and doing your absolute best for the welfare of all, but without being attached to personal gain or the fruits of your labor. According to the Gita, doing your duty selflessly acts like a fire. It actually burns away the baggage of past actions, your past karma, and liberates you. It's about realizing that Mother Nature does the heavy lifting, and if we just work as instruments for the good of society, that's where we find true, lasting peace. To ground this whole abstract philosophy, let's look at a powerful real-world example detailed in our sources. There's this incredible true story about a poor farmer who heroically saved a terrified young boy from drowning in a swamp. The boy's wealthy father, a nobleman, obviously wanted to repay the farmer. The farmer totally refused payment, but the nobleman offered to educate the farmer's son instead. Well, that farmer's son grew up to be Sir Alexander Fleming, the brilliant scientist who discovered penicillin. And years later, the nobleman's son fell deathly ill with pneumonia, and guess what saved him? Penicillin. Oh, and by the way, that nobleman's son? That was Winston Churchill. This perfectly captures the very essence of karma yoga. Selfless action ripples through the interconnected universe. What goes around truly comes around.
Section 4. Your 3 hidden gears, the gunas.
Now, if we want to act selflessly, we kind of need to understand the psychology of what drives our behavior in the first place, and this is brilliantly explained in chapter 14 of the Gita. Our sources describe 3 gunas, or qualities that act almost like hidden gears that Mother Nature uses to drive us. First, there's sattva, the gear of peace, goodness, and clarity. This is when you feel completely calm, honest, and helpful. Next up is rajas, the gear of passion and high activity. This drives ambition and hard work, but if it gets unbalanced, it leads to greed, restlessness, and serious frustration. And finally, there's tamas, the gear of ignorance and laziness. This is when you feel entirely unmotivated, careless, or you're just stuck on the couch avoiding all your responsibilities. And the truth is, we all shift through these 3 gears constantly, depending on our habits and our environment.
But here's the good news. We aren't hopelessly stuck in the bad gears. You can actively shift these gears upward to find harmony. Step 1. If you realize you're stuck in tamas, you literally just have to force yourself to stop procrastinating and start doing your basic duties to break that laziness. Step 2. Once you're active but maybe feeling greedy or stressed out in rajas, you have to actively work to let go of those selfish motives. And step 3. By choosing to serve others and doing your duty without demanding a reward, you naturally shift into sattva, that state of peace and clarity. It definitely takes effort, but by observing your own mind, you can absolutely take control of your psychological gears.
Finally, Section 5. Fueling mind and body. Daily habits. Bringing this explainer down to a highly practical, everyday level, Chapter 17 of the Gita offers a literal blueprint for daily living. It tells us that even our diet and the tone of our voice deeply impact our spiritual clarity. It advises eating sattvic foods, things that are juicy, smooth, substantial, and nutritious, to promote health and happiness. On the flip side, it warns against tamasic foods that are stale or impure, which just drag our energy right down. Beyond food, it says that our speech should never be harsh or insulting. We should always speak the truth, but in a way that is sweet and actually helpful. And finally, it advises giving charity selflessly, but wisely, to a good cause without expecting a single thing in return. And this brings us to a really profound tool for mental clarity. From Chapter 17, the mantra Om Tat Sat, which means the ultimate reality exists. When you are out there navigating a modern world full of doubts, struggles, and anxiety, reciting this before taking action acts as a powerful psychological reset. And here is the truly fascinating science behind it. Modern biology shows that intentional breathing, especially when combined with vocal vibration, physically regulates your nervous system. It stimulates your vagus nerve, which lowers your heart rate and instantly brings clarity to a frantic mind. Now, this modern biological understanding perfectly mirrors what the Upanishads and the Gita describe as universal breathing. Remember how we talked about the cosmos beginning with a vibration, that Nod Brahma? Just as science shows the universe expanding and contracting in these vast rhythmic cycles, uttering this ancient mantra aligns your own physical breath and mental focus with the actual rhythm of the cosmos. It's wild to think about, but by intentionally breathing and chanting, you are quite literally tuning your nervous system to the frequency of the universe. It takes an ordinary stressful moment and turns it into a conscious, peaceful practice, giving you the exact clarity you need to excel in whatever you are doing. So, we arrive at our final thought. We have journeyed all the way from the explosive Big Bang and the cosmic golden womb, through the quantum observer effect, right down to the breathing techniques that physically calm your nervous system, the food on your plate, and the very words you speak. And it is all connected. Your Atman is a drop of that infinite ocean.
If the infinite universe is already inside of you, and if your selfless actions have the power to literally shape your reality, then the power is entirely in your hands. Which gear are you going to choose to drive your life today? Will you succumb to Tamas, chase the endless desires of Rajas, or are you going to strive for the peace and clarity of Sattva? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this brings a whole new level of clarity to your daily journey.